Remember when FPS games were simple? You came home, launched the game, invited your friends, and played for hours without thinking about anything else. Winning was fun, losing was also fun, because every match felt different. But today, something feels wrong. The graphics are better, the engines are more advanced, our PCs and consoles are more powerful than ever. But somehow a lot of players feel like FPS games are becoming less enjoyable. So the question is, are FPS games actually getting worse? Or did gaming itself change? One of the biggest problems with modern FPS games is that almost every game is starting to feel the same. Open any popular shooter today and you already know what you are going to see. A battle pass, a store page, limited time skins, daily challenges, expensive bundles, and constant events. Different games, different names, but the same formula. At some point it feels like companies stopped asking how do we make players have fun, and started asking how do we keep players online for longer. And there is a big difference between those two things. Another thing that changed completely is casual gaming. Years ago, you could join a lobby and just play. Some players were better, some were worse, and every match had a different feeling. Now, sometimes every match feels like you accidentally entered a tournament. Everyone is using the best weapons, best settings, best strategies, watching guides, learning movement tricks. The average player today is way better than before. And because of that, casual FPS gaming is slowly disappearing. You don't just play anymore. You have to keep improving just to survive. Then we have the problem everyone knows about, unfinished games. FPS games today look amazing in trailers. Huge promises, amazing graphics, next-generation gameplay. But when they release, performance issues, server problems, missing features, bugs everywhere. A lot of games don't feel finished on day one anymore. The first few months after release sometimes feel like players are testing the game instead of enjoying it. Updates and patches are important, but releasing a broken game and fixing it later should not become normal. Another huge issue destroying FPS games is cheating. Because FPS games are based on competition, trust is everything. When you die, you should think, okay, that player was better. Not, was that guy cheating? The moment players lose trust, the entire experience changes. Even if most matches are fair, a few cheaters are enough to damage the game. Because nobody wants to spend hours improving at something where they feel the competition isn't real. And then there is the problem of content versus quality. Modern games are constantly getting new skins, new bundles, and new items. But sometimes basic problems remain untouched for months. Players don't hate cosmetics. Players don't hate companies making money. The problem starts when the store feels more polished than the actual game. Because a cool skin doesn't matter if the gameplay experience itself is frustrating. Another reason older FPS games are remembered so positively is because they had their own identity. Older Call of Duty games felt different. Older Battlefield games felt different. Every franchise had something unique. But now a lot of games are chasing the same trends. Battle Royale became popular. Everyone wanted Battle Royale. Hero shooters became popular. Everyone wanted operators and abilities. Live service became popular. Everyone wanted endless seasons. Instead of creating the next big idea, many games are trying to copy the last successful idea. But does this mean FPS games are dying? I don't think so. There are still millions of players playing shooters every day. The love for FPS games is still there. The problem is many players miss what FPS games used to represent. Simple fun, good gameplay, memorable moments with friends. Not just grinding challenges, unlocking skins, or chasing the next update. Maybe FPS games don't need bigger maps. Maybe they don't need hundreds of cosmetics. Maybe they don't need complicated systems everywhere. Maybe they just need to remember why people started playing them in the first place. Because at the end of the day, players don't remember the battle pass they completed. They remember the moments they had.